Well, it is a Tuesday morning. That means one thing. I am joined inside the WCTC studios today for another edition of What's It Worth by my good friend, Mr. Barry Blank, who was here. Good morning, Barry. Good to see you again.
Good morning. Happy to be here after about 2 hours worth of no power.
I was going to ask you, how did you fare during the strong storms?
You know, really, well, what happened was all of a sudden about 7 o'clock, the power flashed on and off. And it came on, and it went off, and I said, I went down and turned the circuit breakers off for the AC, the refrigerator, everything that could, but it had a power thing on. And it came on about 2 hours later after a frantic search for some supplies.
Isn't that the most helpless feeling in the world? Because you don't know when the power's coming back on. You can't plan anything, right?
Totally.
Very helpless.
And my stepdaughter's boyfriend says to her, "Well, I wish I was in your house during a blackout because I know that Barry will figure it all out."
See that? It's good to have that reputation, right? As a guy who can fix things and get things figured out.
I got some battery-operated fans. I got all done in 2 hours.
You thought of everything. Yeah. Of course. I would expect nothing less. But diamonds, Barry, let's talk about that for this edition of the show today. And when you think about shape and cuts of diamonds, I always wanted to ask you, where are the round diamonds? How come their pearls are round, and every time I see a diamond, it has flats and faces on it? Is there just nothing sexy about a round diamond? Is that why? Is that part of it?
You mean a rounded top diamond, like a cabochon?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've seen diamond beads and diamond cabochons, but they're made out of very poor diamonds.
Okay.
Because diamond, in order to have light and brilliance, it has to have facets on flat spots.
That's what I thought. If it's round, you don't get that brilliance, right?
Yeah, but they're really interesting. But I got to tell you, diamond beads are not pretty. They look look like round rocks with black things inside them, and they're still diamonds. You know, matter of fact, I remember my grandfather who was a jeweler, arguing with my parents that a rose diamond is not a diamond. A rose diamond is a flat sliver of diamond with like, it looks like a little mountain, and they were cut hundreds of years ago. They're still used today in antique looking jewelry. But so round diamonds are, when I think about a round diamond, I think about a round brilliant cut diamond, which is circular.
Okay. And
it has 50 some odd facets on it. And the reason you have round diamonds more common than everything else is because the original crystal that a diamond is cut from is, if you picture a pyramid on top of a pyramid upside down, you have a square outline. So the first diamonds, they cut off the top, they cut off the bottom, and they took the corners off. So it was actually a rounded square, and then they started putting facets on it. And that was called the old mine cut diamond, not from old mines, but antique.
Gotcha. Now, of course, when you talk about the cut, that's one of the critical 5 C's of diamonds, right? The cut accounts for 20% of what the diamond's all about, right?
Right. Now, the cut itself can be misleading to some people because they think cut means the shape of the stone. Cut actually refers to the dimensions and the symmetry and the way the diamond cutter puts all the facets on. The shape of the diamond, also known as the cut, because they keep it confusing, is either round, square, emerald cut, oval, princess, Asher cut. There are many, many cuts, and then there are some modern cuts developed by people.
Oh, right. And I want to talk about some of the specific cuts. And this might be the first time in all the years that we've been doing this that I think you mentioned a princess cut. What's that all about?
Well, the princess cut is a cut to the original shape of the original diamond crystal. It's actually square, and it has points on the ends. But the difference between a square and an emerald cut or a square cut is that the princess cut has the bottom of a brilliant cut diamond. So a princess cut is a very, very lively stone, whereas the emerald cut has broad flashes of light. The princess cut has scintillating pin flashes like the round brilliant.
Is the princess one in demand?
Very much in demand. It's also extremely difficult to set because the points of the princess cut are very sharp, so they have to be covered by the corners of the setting.
What's a popular style and cut for an engagement ring? Is princess a popular choice?
Today it's extremely popular. Still, the round is the most round or round brilliant cut is the most popular.
Okay.
And the round brilliant cut came into existence around 1927. Telkowski was the guy's name. I think Maurice, but I'm not. I studied this only a couple of years ago in 1989 or was it 79?
It's a couple decades ago.
Ago. Right. And when I took the course, by the way, it was $1,600. Today it's almost $30,000.
Wow. How about that? Barry Blank is here. This is What's It Worth? We'll come back. We'll talk more about diamond shapes and cuts and what's the difference between them and what impact does it have on the value and on the resale. We could talk about that, right?
We can. Sure.
Barry is here. It's What's It Worth here on WCTC. Barry Blank from National Estate Jewelry Buyers in East Brunswick. We're talking about diamond shapes and cuts and what you need to know about those. A couple things, Barry, before we resume. Gold markets, how are we looking this morning? Okay, pretty good price?
Very solid market, 1422, 1423, an ounce of pure gold, not of 14-karat gold. 14-karat gold or 18-karat gold, or percentages of pure other alloys are in there. So if it's 14-karat gold, instead of you're getting paid $1,400 an ounce, you're getting paid about $600 or $700, depending on the purity and the way it's made.
Okay.
Gold coin is higher, because we know the purity exactly.
Gotcha. And all this recent talk, too, about the 50th anniversary of the landing on the moon. You know, there's moon rocks. There's a handful of moon rocks that are out there. You couldn't possibly put a price on a rock from the moon. I mean, what if somebody walked in and said, see this rock? It came from the moon.
You can put a price on anything. And that's what being an appraiser is all about. It's doing the research and say, did a moon rock sell? I was at a trade show. I was at a retail trade show in Manhattan at the Park Avenue Armory, and there was on display for sale a spacesuit, an early spacesuit, and was
Wow.
a $10,000 price ticket on it. Somebody bought it. Now they got a steal, and you know why? What do you think it cost to make a spacesuit?
Much more, and who knows if someone will ever wear it in space again.
Nobody would. Nobody would.
Right.
But the development of that spacesuit was millions of dollars,
Yeah.
not 10,000. So somebody puts that into a collection. That's what we call a sleeper, right out in the public.
I like it.
Somebody plunked down 10,000 and really got a great deal.
I think after the lunar landing, every state got a little piece of moon rock, and it's always like, well, we can't account for all of the pieces that were given out to all the states.
They had little bugs on them when they came down. You know what they were? They
No.
were lunatics.
Boy, did I walk into that one. Right. Wow. All right. Moving back to a diamond shape and cut. A heart cut, Barry, sounds like a beautiful design of a diamond. Is a heart really that striking when you see it?
I'll put it like this. It's very striking, but some people love them and some people hate them. Some people just don't like heart shapes. It's like, I know my wife, Nancy, she's not a thrill of heart shapes. But some people love them. It's a very difficult cut because like most fancies, you have to keep the diamond very, very clean, or else it will not have the brilliance. So I would say if you're going to have a fancy, and people love them, heart, marquise, oval, put it in a jewelry cleaner, and once a week. Use a little toothbrush, even toothpaste on it, by the way.
Okay.
It's really good. But never boil your jewelry on the stove. We're going to boil it because the jeweler said he boiled it. So no, you'll break your diamonds.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Is it possible to take a diamond, Barry, that's already has a specific cut and redesign it and say, I don't like this cut. Give me let's cut it a different way.
It's possible, but diamonds are cut to maintain as much of the weight from the original crystal as possible. And the reason you get some of these ovals and marquises, or marquise without the S, they call it marquise or marquise, doesn't matter, is that the original crystal was shaped in a form that lent itself to be an oval. It lent itself to be a marquise or a pear shape. Something they were cutting out an inclusion or an imperfection, as we sometimes call them. And you can do it all, and you can recut any stone. You can any stone from any shape to any size, but you got to think about, is it worth it, and what are you going to lose?
I would think it would be cost prohibitive. It would be cheaper to just go and get a diamond of that original style that you wanted. Would make more sense in the end.
But it's like anything else. It's like a broken watch. Is it worth repairing? If it belonged to somebody important, if it means something to you, if you really wanted to repair that diamond or change its shape, go have it done. Very often we get marquise diamonds and they're not in vogue, so we take off the diamond cutter, diamond polisher, whatever you want, takes off the ends and he makes it into an oval.
Wow.
And it makes it increases the value of the diamond and the saleability 30, 40, 50%.
Wow. Interesting.
So it can all be done, and we do that.
Last one, trillion or a trillionth. It's not worth $1 trillion. That's not how it got its name,
Unless
right?
it's like 1,000 carats. In Yiddish, they say "alavai," God willing.
Right.
God willing.
But a trillion is a type of cut, right?
A trillion is a type of cut. It's a triangular diamond with the bottom of a brilliant style diamond cutting. Round brilliant. It has lots of facets. It is extremely brilliant. And also, you have to keep these fancy shapes very clean.
Okay, then this way it maintains its brilliance.
Yeah, what happens when a diamond, when it gets dirt on the back, and diamonds attract dirt from the grease and hand lotions, they attract it.
Oh, wow.
What happens is the light goes into the top of the diamond and gets absorbed instead of bouncing. And you got to keep, even round diamonds will lose some brilliance that way. So.
Gotcha. So someone could come to National Estate Jewelers and share a story about the person they're buying the diamond for, and you'll take that into consideration and give them exactly what they're looking for, right?
Well, we'll do the best we can. Do you know Saturday Night Live had a sentimental pawn shop skit?
I vaguely remember that, yeah.
And somebody came in with somebody a 10-carat diamond from somebody they hated. So they offered them nothing. But then they came in with a half a carat diamond from somebody they loved, and they gave them $1 million for it. So, sentimental pawn shop.
I like it. Of course, Route 18 in East Brunswick. It's at 212 Route 18, right next to FedEx office. Very convenient to get to, easy from anywhere. Stop in or call 732-257-GOLD. Barry, thanks as always. Great to have you here, and continue to learn so many things about what you do and what your specialties are. So thank you again. Really appreciated having you here today.
Totally my pleasure.